there are two competing forces here, one of which being the establishment, the uniparty, and then politicians, which are now really becoming this new third party movement in America. And it's called MAGA. It largely exists within the Republican Party. So I call MAGA a third party within the Republican Party. But you look at people like Tulsi, you look at people like Glenn Greenwald, they're not necessarily part of MAGA, but they are certainly part of this new America First, this broader America First umbrella. And so you'll see them support candidates or support positions from people that they may not normally be associated with. But if they're working towards the same end, everyone, we'd say in the military, they're all rowing in the same direction. And so when I look at what can people do, I would say when you see someone doing that, you could say, look, I may vehemently disagree with somebody like Tulsi Gabbard or Kim Iverson or some of these others when it comes to social issues. I'm just saying it as an example. But if there are larger, broader issues that we can find agreement with from an America First standpoint, we should. Because I believe that the new right, and I said this in my CPAC speech, I believe that the new right coalition, the electoral coalition, comes down to two issues. And essentially those issues are trade and immigration. So if you restore those, if you restore American economic greatness in the United States, if we bring back two industries, the energy industry, which we essentially outsource to the Middle East, and if you bring back the manufacturing industry, which we gutted, we deindustrialized the heartland of the United States in favor of outsourcing it all to Asia. Those communities within the American heartland, within the American Midwest, and you're also seeing, by the way, in the South, you're seeing a lot of industrialization come in, tons of jobs come in. Second is immigration. The United States has seen these mass immigration over the last 20 years. Just in the last 2 years, we've seen 5 million people spill across the border illegally under Joe Biden. This creates a cycle which, again, goes towards these low-wage jobs that we're talking about, these working-class jobs. If you're constantly having to compete with a flood of people that are also going for the same jobs that you're going for, it's going to artificially depress wages in that lower rung for the working class. And so then you're also going to be faced with a situation, one of the new corollaries of that would be you're not going to be able to have families. So you're not going to see the family formation. So your birth rate's going to be down. And so what do all the economic planners in Washington say? Oh, and this AOC actually said this, by the way. So AOC came out and said, well, we need more immigration because the birth rate is down because people aren't having enough kids.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like those were all the things that Trump was so focused on. And I think a lot of people are starting to realize now that it's so important, who maybe even didn't support Trump back then, but are now realizing, wait, this is what the Democrats are doing to Americans if they continue down this path.